Hello everyone, I'm Successor. Nice to meet you here again. Today I would like to talk to you with this SAAB 95. Okay, I'm so like SAAB, this brand so much, but well, this brand have been out of the history for 10 years and more. I don't know when we can see this brand reborn again. The SAAB 95 is a critical product in 1990s for the SAAB. It changed the naming logic for SAAB. Why it called SAAB 95? They got a very interesting story. Let's tell this detail for you. Okay, it's called SAAB 95, but when you see in catalog, you will see the SAAB 9-5. Why it called 95? The 9 represents the SAAB tradition. All of the SAAB cars except the subsonic was called SAAB 9 what. For example, SAAB 92, 900, 9000. And this 9 stands for the SAAB naming initial. The 5 stands for what? Somebody said the very first SAAB 95 presented in 1997. That year is still also the SAAB 50 years anniversary. This 5 stands for the SAAB 50 years anniversary. No, it is not Alfa Romeo 75. This 5 just stands for BMW 5 Series. That's what the saying comes from official SAAB. Well, this car stands for BMW 5 Series. Maybe, I think it's acceptable because later we got SAAB 93 stands for this BMW 3 Series. But however, we got SAAB 92 and SAAB 97, but they're not for the BMW 2 Series or 7 Series. Okay, and we can see they got a logo. What's this logo? This logo stands for Hitch, H-I-R-C-H. The Hitch represents the SAAB official option upgrade chips. This car is 95 with SAAB Hitch chip upgrade. Okay, this car is the latest version for the first generation SAAB 95. We got 2 times for the minor change for SAAB 95 first generation. The SAAB 95 was presented in 1997 and soon goes to market. And we got the first minor change at 2001. And this is the second minor change at 2006. The 2001 for the 2002 model minor change got just minor difference. But the 2006 minor change got a very big minor change. For example, we got different front design. Traditional SAAB got 3 pieces for the front grille, but now the side grille got with the headlamp together at the 2006 version. And we have the different tail lamps for the 2006 version. At very first, we got a circle for the tail lamp, but at final, we got a different shape for the tail lamp at the fender and at the end, the trunk lid right here, and all for the red cover. Okay, that's the exterior, obviously difference. And we still got a little bit minor change for the interior, but it is too minor to discuss. And actually, I don't know for detail. That's for true. Okay, we can see the SAAB 95 got still a little bit factor comes from the SAAB 9000, but it got more and more revolutionary design. But well, this car has presented when the SAAB bought by GM. So it is a Sweden version OPEL VECTRA. You can recognize this car, but SAAB engineer got a lot of improvement. So when you see this car, you don't think about the OPEL or other GM cars, but actually they got the same transmission box and the same engine. At very first, the Sub 95 just got 2.0 turbo engine. It got a big turbocharge and another version for small turbocharge. The big turbocharge got 180 brake horsepower. The small turbocharge got 150 horsepower, brake horsepower. And we have the Sub 95 Aero presented in 1999. The engine upgrade to 2.3 turbo engine. It produced 225 brake horsepower. And the Aero, it's called Sub 95 Aero. Actually, there are many segments for the Sub 95. The entry level called Sub 95 Arc, Linear, VECTRA, and Aero. The Aero is a sport version, so we got a different Aero kit at front, at side skirt, at rear, and we got different wheel rims, and we got different suspension. Actually, the height for Sub 95 Aero is lower than other version for 1 cm, and you can see at exterior obviously. Certainly we got different in interior. We got a lot of sporty version for the interior at the Sub Aero version. At very first we can see the door panel, we got a woody trim. Okay, this woody trim is not original. It has to be option, and it is very expensive actually. The standard for Sub 95 Aero is the silver door trim, and this woody trim was upgraded by the owner, my bad friend as well. Okay, and because it is Aero, so we got a sporty racing seat at front and rear. It is black with white trim, and actually this seat is very comfortable. I like this seat so much. And because it is Aero, so we got the door segment for Sub Aero right here, and to notice it is Aero. Okay, the interior still got very sub stylish, full of sub stylish. For example, the air condition, we can see this design just inspired from the very first Sub 900, and we still got a very interesting tachometer, speedometer inspired by the airplane, and it still got the night panel. When you get driving at night, you just push the night panel, and the tachometer will get down, and we just got 0 to 160, and we got the water temperature. The others we won't see it. I like this night panel so much because you don't have to notice those not so important information to your eye contact. I like that design actually. And this handler also inspired from the airplane. You can see just like the silver parts, just like the airplane handler. That's very interesting. And certainly it is Aero, so it is full of equipment, and we got a dual zone automatic air condition as well. And people in Taiwan also think this is an expensive car, so we don't like the manual transmission box. So except the very few Sub 95 Aero, Sub 93 Aero got 6-speed manual transmission. Most of Sub imported to Taiwan take the 4AT, but this 4AT is very interesting. When you're driving with the normal D gear, you won't think this is a Sub Aero. You would think it just got 150 brake horsepower. But when you push this button for the sport, and this car will be suddenly very sporty. You will feel like just 400 brake horsepower. Oh, I'm so surprised for this transmission box. Very interesting. And there is the key was right here. And Sub said it can prevent the damage when the crash if we got the key right here. And very interesting is that the second generation Sub 95 also keeps the push start right here. But I don't think I think maybe it's a tradition for the SAAB. And there's another interesting design for the power window. When you want to open or close the front window, you can just do this way. But if you want to close or open the rear window, you have to push right here. Not right here, just right here. That's very interesting. And the handbrake is shortened. It also called like airplane. Certainly this saying comes from the SAAB official. And the center console, it can sliding right front and the rear. And the SAAB said this center console got smaller at Aero because they want you to change the gear very easily. I don't know if it is do some good for gear changing because it is automatic transmission. And the interior for 9.5 I think is enough, but not very big. This car stands for battling with BMW 5 Series. At very first, when it presented in 1997, the BMW 5 Series was the BMW E39. But when the last 9.5 rolled down at the production line at 2010, the BMW 5 Series goes to F10. So the interior, compared with the E39, this 9.5 is similar. But if compared to the F10, okay, this car just looks like BMW 3 Series. And the SAAB always product for the front seat driver buyer's car, not for the rear seat buyers. So there is not many interesting equipment at rear seat. Well, there's interesting that because it is Aero, this car is Aero, so we got white strip at the rear leather seat as well. That's very interesting. Okay, this car was presented in 2006, and at that meanwhile, this car is 10-year-old. People wouldn't like to buy this car as well. So actually this car is so rare in Taiwan. Even the final version for the first generation 9.5 called 9.5 Griffin. That car, I never see that car in my eyes at Taiwan. I got the catalogs, I got see it in the car show, but not on the road. That's very pity. And very interesting is that the second-hand price for the first generation 9.5 is not very high, but the second generation 9.5 got very high second-hand price value now in Taiwan. The SAAB second generation 9.5 presented in 2010 and goes to market at 2011. Now we still have to pay about 30% to 40% for the second hand in Taiwan now. And that is another interesting thing, is that the Taiwan SAAB also got the maintenance officially still now. Even the SAAB Sweden was bankrupt so long time ago, but you still could see the SAAB officially in Taiwan. That's very interesting. Actually, the Taiwan SAAB is a global SAAB auxiliary parts offering center in the worldwide. That's very interesting. So if you want to buy a SAAB, you want to maintain the SAAB in Taiwan, you won't worry about except the money. If you want to maintain the SAAB right here in Taiwan, you can buy closely all of the parts, and even there's still some new parts developed by the SAAB Taiwan. That's very interesting. For example, they got, as I know, they got the latest, the new parts for the SAAB 9.3 at the fog lamps. That's very interesting. So we still have many people here in Taiwan loves SAAB, and we got a SAAB club and we got a SAAB meeting maybe once or twice a month. Many people love SAAB right here in Taiwan, and I'm also one of them. But well, I couldn't afford a SAAB because this car is expensive, and the auxiliary and the parts is not cheap as well. I'm not a rich man, so this car is my best friend's car, and I thanks a lot for his offering this car for me to take this video to introduce the SAAB 95 in Taiwan and the SAAB in Taiwan. Okay, do you like SAAB, this brand? Do you like SAAB 95? Please tell me at the comment. Thanks a lot. Okay, this is today's video. I'm Successor. Hope to see you again with another interesting car. See you again. Bye bye.